Our first reader performer tonight is Jacqueline Hogler. She is a poet and performer, and she's extensively traveled around the world. She's lived in Paris, and she does two kinds of work. One is these kinds of collage poems using a method of cutting up from periodicals. First, which she evolved independently. I think cut up is something that's had multiple points of origin, and also automatic texts of various kinds. But she also does little couplets in the style of Dorothy Parker, which is kind of at the other end of poetics from that. But anyway, so without further ado, I welcome Jacqueline Hogler.
Good evening. Thank you very, very much. I'm originally from Toronto, born and raised. I live in New Zealand now. So our MC is ad hoc, and so am I. I found out that I had the opportunity to read about 22 minutes ago. So I'm thrilled because I just got this lovely opportunity. I will be reading from my originals of the notified by Adam, André Breton style, where laboriously in that age, all those decades ago when we didn't have other things to distract and disturb us. I'll start with why a world crowded. So I'll show you the visual, so if I change my voice, you'll get that it's kind of a response, although many of these are quite nonsensical anyway. We want you to know the assignment was humongous. Biologists have long realized life expands to fill all niches, he said, and, in case you were wondering, hold on tight, most women want abortion. The stakes were terrifying. What kind of impression should a fairy tale evoke? As far as I'm concerned, nothing ordinary. The emperor's new clothes, and I was alone. Navigate a romantic, deep blue solar system. At the same time, I believe the reason was political. In the big boat, she refused all painkillers. If I were a woman, I'd blow the whistle on social suffering and champion the most advanced urban culture. The end of that poem. This is called Adjusting the Landscape. What the universe offers is both ancient and sacred, with original forms. The world is in a shambles. It hasn't always been this way, and it's about to get worse. I mean, Alpha Centauri is our nearest star. The first stage of my journey is only 4.3 light years away. It is, of course, an eerily beautiful morning, all sunshine, and the energy here is yin, good for communication. Fast forward now to a media variation. As they tell the story, there used to be monsters out there. It's claimed you could sense their agony by the lunar exposure. Not everyone agrees, but that's okay. Since everyone is famous, or thinks, much to the chagrin of the warrior pilots, that the center of the world remains eternal, another life cycle, this time with maggots, that, provided they are tame, can dislodge their trains of thought to discover and explore. A new, important category, the inevitable colonizing of space, their unwillingness to dwell for more than an instant on anything terrestrial. It's kind of spooky. It's kind of like the eve of destruction. Maybe we ought to give everyone their money back. Maybe we should all just go home. Fame is fatuous anyway. Shot in the dark. I'm reeling. I was rather despondent young woman, wasn't I? I had at once fallen in love. I fell in love on sight. A look so sublime, the last, real and lasting value of contemporary sensuality. But then, something happened in the name of liberation, the mayhem and the throngs. I'm going to write that in now. Society does everything to change. An obsessive interest into an extraordinary calm. I was on my mission. They thought I wanted to change the world. It really needs it. Into what everyone wanted, a delirious concoction, a dream come true. Just make sure that you have enough surrealism and satire. There's also the possibility that the dignity with which the macabre majority expect sex increasingly. Tonight is the night. What was known was that he had also fallen in love. But those willing to take the time to look more closely will find appropriately, they'll find out the truth. Reality, not perception. He believed that whatever had to change the world in extreme ways should, but powerful interests have often confusing, conflicting barrage of data. We want to find out who saw the death. Anyone? Every person pays taxes. The public, metaphorically speaking, concluded today the leading cause of death is just the effects of time and the ghoulish sense of the future. There's no one else like the alchemist of timeless ideological guidance whose rare combination of intelligence, crazed mix of cheek, comes on like someone in the human tribe. And did you know oral sex increases with education? The last thing the world needs are myths about that women are victims, instead questioning the times, commenting on the culture of consciousness. If you think she couldn't satisfy herself, get a grasp on the explosion that is once bold, outrageous, and ordinary. Have the H-bomb makers deceived us? I was consumed only by the incomprehensible idea of smiling through the apocalypse. Time for one or two more? Okay. Oh, all right. Well, two. This one's called The Power of Dreams. This is one of the first ones that I pasted on paper. The Power of Dreams. I never dreamed I would travel around the world to rescue a jailed gorilla. What happens when an unknown gunman stalks women, the city that would not die, without any sign of peace? Anyone knows. But life's a roller coaster. It has to sound as impressive as a morality tale for warriors. I used to steal intimacy. There's a snake on the journey, and it's barely visible, but it's along for the ride with me, and constantly in search of what is authentic and essential. Once in a great while, what happens is, living in the past is dark and rich. And if you still think that laughter can cheer you at the end of self-discovery, you've never... What have you never done? Oh yeah, you've never journeyed across great distances from centuries past. Someone who appreciates the expanse of the interior room to make the journey a singular experience till something deep is being reached. Don't fight it. The only thing that will remain is the future and the power of the old heroes. Once you've looked beyond the obvious, the evidence is irrefutable, and we are pleased that everyone is becoming more depraved. And, yes, insomnia is more practical. The story of the alchemist. He was ill and in pain, like all human culture. But most importantly, he lived behind closed doors, staying in bed to make up for the deficiencies of society. There is magic and mystery beneath the surface, and if you're looking for approval and ready to eat your heart out, you'll always be what you'd call one of the ageless maestros. And by sheer blind luck, you would have the error of an unsentimental view towards the rites of passage. It's simply a question of time, a welcome relief to modern access, but more, it's an inspiration, a thing of beauty. Can we wittily decode the mundane? What are the facts? It's ironic, research flourishes when we're destroying nature, the earth, the future of the natural world that is uniquely marvelous. So if you think that you don't deserve widespread lamentation, then take this simple fact seriously, for what is remembered is up to you. This one's part of the art. Is that the one I read you, Martin? No, it wasn't, but I'll read part of the art. Oh, stir the heart. Stir the heart. The sky was a perfect still blue. It was like a field in some ways. We're confident you'll find precisely what you're looking for. The emphasis is on you, and wonder as if it were a field. I was very fragile, just like you would be. Are we unreasonable to realize nothing more significant from the return home? Examining our tickets, ah yes. Offering mere child's play. The ultimate canvas should speak for itself, and in our hearts, I will await you, even where lovers and mentors did not. Thank you very much. So, I wrote also, as Adam mentioned, in a Dorothy Parker style. She had a great influence on me. It was either that was her style, or maybe it was those Rupert books. You know, there was the long version of the story, and then the little rhyming couplets underneath the sort of watercolored. Anyway, I won't take too much time, and I'd rather close with one of her poems, and it's very simply called Coda. There's little in taking and giving. There's little in water and wine. This living was never a project of mine. For hard is the struggle and sparse is the gain for the one at the top. Art, it's a form of catharsis. And love is a permanent flop. And work is the province of cattle. And rest is for a clam in a shell. So I'm thinking of throwing this battle. Would you kindly direct me to hell? This is called On Being a Woman. Why is it when I'm in Rome, I'd give my eyes to be at home, and then on native soil I be, my soul just longs for Italy. And why is it with you, my love, my lord, am I spectacularly bored? But do you up and leave me then, I scream to have you back again.